Hey guys, welcome. So, welcome to, I'm seeing a couple messages here, and let me just try something because this is so blurry. I have no idea. No, I don't want to do that. I have no idea why the camera on. I cleaned my lenses this morning, so I have no idea why that's super blurry. Over on YouTube, it's not blurry. So, I think I'm just going to suggest to you guys to go over to YouTube because I don't know what's going on with the camera over here on Instagram, or I'll just let it roll, but I'm not going to repost from Instagram. But just so you know, I know the camera's super blurry and I don't know what's going on. Something's going on with my phone. Anyway, I'm over on YouTube. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining me for the Wednesday weekly IG Live. Today is 5 Secrets to Building a Strong and Healthy World-Class Singing Voice. So last week I did a webinar, which I just want to make a quick announcement. You can view on YouTube, which has the entire webinar. Okay. And I really recommend going over there to take a look at that because I have much more time to really lay it out. So those of you on YouTube, you'll find it in the recent videos. It's called Replay. And I recommend watching that. And we also announced our brand new 8-week program, 8-week format of our very popular Vocal Freedom Circle. So the Vocal Freedom Circle is an 8-week program that teaches my Cole vocal method. The foundational level of the method, it comes with the warm-ups, with the vocal therapy, with the master voice building, speaking exercises, conditioning, and then the master voice building exercises that all build a world-class level voice, build a strong and healthy singing voice. So don't delay. We have made that program so much more affordable now. And again, those on Instagram, I know it's super blurry. Don't know how to fix it. Clean the lenses of the camera. Something's wrong, but go over to YouTube to see the better camera and the better filming of this. So you will find the most recent webinar on there that talks about the Vocal Freedom Circle and walks you through the program if you want more information. Otherwise, you can just hit the link in the bio to go to the Vocal Freedom Circle. We did the webinar last week. We've got a good, 30 people in the program so far. You can join at any time. You can go through it on your own pace, at your own pace, and the whole method of 70 exercises is yours to keep on audio and video. So I'm going to dive into the content today. The majority of the techniques out there only adjust the surface sound of the voice. And this is really important. I call it window dressing. So it looks good in the window, it sounds good on the surface, but the foundation underneath is faulty. And these quick fix vocal techniques really are adjusting the sound, like put the sound here, place the sound there, do this, do that. But they're not actually improving the foundation of the voice, the way the voice makes sound, and how the singer makes sound. And there's a danger in manipulating the sound up on the surface, which over time can cause vocal problems. And that's why they're not really sound techniques and they don't really work long term. How do I know that? Because I've been teaching voice in New York City for over 38 years. And I've had witnessed so many, thousands and thousands and thousands of singers coming to work with me from different methods, from different techniques. I learned so much, and so many of the techniques were not respecting the health of the singer, and the singer ended up with vocal problems or nodules from just pounding the voice or singing louder or any of those kinds of things, or just manipulating the surface of the voice. And again, that doesn't really work in terms of long-term for the voice and care for the voice, right? The most important thing a singer needs is to be able to step out on that stage and be able to deliver in any condition, in any conditions of the environment and at all different stages or phases of the voice, whether you got sleep, you didn't get sleep, all of these things are so important, right? So let me dive in today. So there are 25 steps in the foundation of building an award-winning world-class level voice, and certainly a strong and healthy voice, which to me go together, right? So today I'm just going to outline as many as I can get to. This is all detailed on the blog. So every Wednesday I do a topic that's coming from the blog of the week. So you don't have to scribble notes. You can go over to the blog and see all of this laid out. I laid out the first 5. And when you join the webinar, when you go and view the webinar on YouTube, you'll get all 25. So step 1 is to identify what muscles are working to create sound. One of the first things that we need to do is identify which muscles are functioning, which muscles are over functioning, which muscles are under functioning. Over functioning muscles are referred to as compensatory muscles. And you've heard me talk about this if you visited our lives. Common compensatory muscle patterning is a name really for a straightforward process when primary muscles do not work properly in movement, or the muscles that we really need, the brain tells other muscles to perform that movement instead. So which muscles are overfunctioning to compensate for a weakness elsewhere, and which muscles are underfunctioning that need to be more active for the singer to really step into their full potential. So one of the recommendations that I have is stand in front of a mirror and watch as you sing, and look to identify what muscles are engaging. Okay. So if we sing, and I will sing incorrectly first and then correctly following. Okay. So this is incorrect, right? And tell me what muscles you notice me using. Okay. Ah. Okay. That's one. What muscles did you notice me using? I'll do it again. Ah. Okay. I'll do a second one. So on the first one, what muscles did you notice moving? The second one, ah. I'll do it again. Ah. So the first one, I moved my jaw. Ah, right? My jaw is moving with each pitch. The second one, I'm used actually, my chin is coming forward, but I'm using the back of my neck. Ah, you know, as the singer lifts their chin up, they're actually contracting the back of the neck because the neck muscles are very convenient and close by. But these, both the jaw and the neck muscles are not primary in the sound. So watch as I sing it more correctly. Ah, my head's not moving, my jaw's not moving, my head's not coming forward, right? So when we learn how to sing correctly and build a strong and healthy singing voice, this is extremely important. Why? Because any secondary or accessory muscles or compensatory muscles that are jumping in to help are causing tensions in the voice. So when we see singers go, ah, ah, and moving that jaw with each note, this is not where the actual voice, where the note, where the, that's not, though that's a secondary muscle. That's not where the sound is actually coming from. The sound is the variable, and the oscillation is happening inside the vocal instrument, right? So when you see a really good singer singing, you're not seeing them scrunch up their face or bring their chin forward, because those are using accessory compensatory muscles that tighten the instrument and over time cause vocal problems. Okay, so the first thing, as I mentioned, is to identify what muscles are working to create sound, what muscles are over functioning, what muscles are under functioning. And then we start the process of, in technique in particular, not so much in singing. And I like to separate technique from singing, so they should be separate. Again, I don't know why my camera is so terrible on Instagram. Oh well, better on YouTube. So what we want to do then in technique, I like to separate them, because technique is like doing your drills, and singing is like an athlete performing the event, right? And they're two different things, and they require different focus and concentration. So when we focus in technique, we want to watch the body, we want to watch the alignment, we want to watch what's happening so that we can monitor it, so we can train the right muscles to work and the wrong muscles to get out of the way. Right. So when you're vocalizing, for example, and doing technique, is when you're really practicing form. When you're singing, don't be thinking about that. You need to be animated. You need to be moving. Just don't try to lift your chin up all the time for the high notes, because that causes more strain and it actually doesn't come out as well. Okay. So there are very specific things I focus on in performance and direction for the singer, how to direct them for what to focus on, which is to keep your chin tipped down, keep your head back over your body, breathe into your back, and open your mouth a little more. And those three things really get the result in performance. But in technique, we want to monitor, we want to watch. So we want to start decreasing the overfunctioning in the compensatory muscles so that the balance of air and muscle are working more correctly. So when I'm going, and I'm using my jaw, right, I'm muscling the voice. When I step back from that, I'm using the air and the muscle more correctly, more in balance, right? So the more that I tense or push, the more that I'm using muscles, the more that I tense or push and use muscles, the more I'm wearing out my voice and leading to vocal loss and hoarseness and losing the voice after singing for an hour or two, right? Or night after night. And this is not healthy, and this is not necessary. There's a way to sing once you learn the correct methodology that doesn't reduces the wear and tear on the voice. Number two, exactly what I'm talking into this next step, which is reducing tension in the muscles of the voice and surrounding muscles. So tension in the vocal instrument and surrounding muscles will cause issues with healthy vocal production, as we're talking about. It causes constriction, tension, tightness, limiting range, muscling the voice. And we start by reducing the tension of the instrument in the surrounding muscles, as well as stripping away the compensatory muscles by retraining them to disengage in a series of movements and positions. And you can start this process in my Singer's Gift warm-ups, which is part one of the Cole Vocal Method. And I teach that entire process, the entire foundational level of the Cole Vocal Method, parts 1 through 4, inside the Vocal Freedom Circle. We are in early bird right now. So if you want to join us and really experience this method and what it would be like in 8 weeks to actually feel a significant, dramatic improvement in your tone, in your pitch, in your execution, in your range, in your sound in just 8 weeks, and get the method to use for the rest of your career, come and join us. Just click the link for the Vocal Freedom Circle. The early bird's in effect now. It's ending on the 19th in 4 days. In 4 days. So get in, because we've made this very affordable now for people in this program. Okay, so number two, as I'm talking about in the reducing of the tension, this is more involved. But one of the first things that we want to do is we want to get the head back over the body. So most people have a bit of a forward head. So their head is forward, okay? And the singer always needs to get their head back over their body so that they have access to the pectoral muscles and to the support of the torso. And also when the chest is high, we are able to breathe down into the diaphragm area. So I go deep into the diaphragm in module 2 of the Vocal Freedom Circle, and I really explain and dispel all of the myths, right? So it's very important to learn how to breathe properly, because too many people are breathing up into the chest, and then as they sing, they're dropping. And the minute that we do that, we have tension in the throat. We're singing from the throat. So the support is a big piece of cleaning up the tension in the muscles. Step number 3, and this is all on the blog, guys. So step 3 is cleaning up the alignment and posture from the ground up. So we just started to talk about posture, and you'll notice, you know, as I'm going through the steps, it really is, to me, very linear. Like, we have to get all of these things lined up correctly in order for the singer to be supported to really build that strong and healthy singing voice. So cleaning up the alignment and posture from the ground up. Singing is very physically and mentally demanding, and good posture is essential to really connect to the breath and to have that reserve of air underneath the glottis, which is the opening of the vocal folds underneath the throat. Really, we want that reserve of air to be built up. And if we are dropping the chest, or if we are singing with our chins forward, we're not connected to that. The diaphragm is up there. We're not singing on that nice balance of air and muscle. We're muscling the voice, which again is wearing the voice out. So we really want to start by tipping that chin down and lengthening the back of the neck. So imagine as if somebody's pulling you up by a string at the back of the neck, and like you're against a wall, right? And that's a being against the wall is a really good measure. Going over to a wall and lean your hips into the wall, and then flatten your lower back and flatten your spine and put your head against the wall. Of course, the neck will come away from the wall, but we want the head on the wall. So most people will find that when they put the head against the wall and the back is against the wall, that they can't get the lower back into the wall. And this is signifying that there's tension in the lower back and spinal erectors that are literally pulling on the neck muscles, keeping the head in this forward position. So the singer has to really learn how to lengthen, and we go through this in great detail inside my cold vocal method, taught inside the Vocal Freedom Circle. Come and learn it. You won't believe the difference in your voice. So we really want to get the posture cleaned up to free up the vocal path that I call it. Step 4 is movements to open the throat and reduce tension at the instrument. So many singers feel a lot of tension in their voice when they're singing, and are also concerned or worried about their voices holding up for performances or tour. And a voice that delivers with full control over your performance is absolutely within your reach, within the right methods, within this method that I teach. And if you think you're stuck with a voice you have right now, you're not, right? So it's really learning the right positions and the right movements to open the throat, reduce tension at the instrument. And inside my Singer's Gift warm-ups, which is part 1 of the cold vocal method, we do specific vocal massages that are designed to decrease the tension in the voice, which then opens and frees the voice for performance. And you'll find those vocal massages inside the Singer's Gift warm-ups. Let's just try a quick one, and then I'm going to just touch on step 5, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. So let's just do this. Let's just put both of our fingers on either side of the throat here and just go back and forth. And what I want you to do is relax the back of the mouth and just go back and forth here. But relax the back of the mouth, the throat, like it's heavy. And just go back and forth here. Does it feel tight? Does it feel fairly loose? This area is very important to release tension in before singing, because vocal problems come from tension inside the muscles of the instrument, and limited range, hoarseness, all of these things come from tension. And most people don't know about that and don't talk about that. So inside the Singer's Gift warm-ups, you'll find my vocal massages to get much more in depth. And the step five is aligning the vocal path. So the next step, we want to align the posture and diaphragm position to support correct vocal production. Posture plays a very important part, as we were talking about earlier, in the alignment, and it really affects the vocal path, right? So when this is forward, the diaphragm is up. We don't have that support of the air, so we get that nice balance between air and muscle, right? So we're not muscling the voice. We need to have that reserve of air. So this is really important. Most people have a slightly slumped chest and a forward head, which causes a disconnection from the torso of the body. And the pectoral muscles are the first muscles that anchor the laryngeals to the trunk of the body, that give that support and also create the right environment for the diaphragm to drop down and stay down during singing, so it's not rushing up. And that's why when you see vocal coaches telling you to tuck your stomach in, that's why it doesn't really work long term. It's a quick fix, it's a quick trick, but it doesn't really work, because all you have to do is just tighten your stomach. Do you feel it in your throat, right? So it's not a good technique. You don't want to pull that stomach in, because what happens is the diaphragm rushes up and pushes all the rest of the air out, and then you're singing on muscle instead of that nice balance between air and muscle. So those are just the first 5 tips. Let's open it up for questions to you guys. And I really recommend that you go over to YouTube and watch the replay from the webinar last week. And then if you really want to experience a difference in your voice, come and join the Vocal Freedom Circle. It's the lowest price ever. We've made it super affordable for you to come and learn the method, and the method is yours to keep, all 70 plus exercises. The beautiful thing about a method versus just techniques, this is a systematized method that the singer now knows exactly what to do when their voice is in different states. There's a specific set for warm-up. There's a specific set for vocal therapy, for returning the voice after being sick. There's a specific set for conditioning from over singing to reduce the inflammation at the vocal folds. And then there's a specific set and series for building the voice. When the voice is healthy, we want to build the voice because we want to build the legato line, the vocal path. We want to build the overtone series, the strength and the health of the voice. Let's open it up for questions. So please put your questions in the chat. Anything that you want to know about voice, happy to answer. And be sure to hit the notification bell so you're notified every time we go live. And the lives are much better on YouTube, by the way, in terms of HD camera and all that. I don't know what's going on over here on Instagram. Also, the Vocal Freedom Circle, which again, we just opened our 8-week version of format of this, making it much cheaper and much more available to you, is a prerequisite for our vocal mastery. We're going to spend a year in vocal mastery. We moved it to July, so it's starting mid-July, and it's a year-long program. And VFC, learning the foundational method, is a prerequisite for getting into that program. And that program also includes people that are vocal coaches that want to be certified in the method. So we're really excited. We're going to be announcing that soon. Okay, I have a question. So foods to take care of the voice. Yes, absolutely. Melon and strawberry are some of the best. They both have different functions. We look in nature and we see, the strawberry looks like the laryngeal muscles, and nature kind of does that, and strawberry is very good for the voice. It's very good for the larynx. And melon is particularly good because melon is very moisturizing. It could be any kind of melon, cantaloupe, watermelon, honeydew melon. These are all really moisturizing for the voice. And this information is based on a study at NYU. One of the otolaryngologists that I work with, Dr. Stephen Rothstein, was part of a study at NYU that they did working with Eric Clapton and Elton John. And the study was designed to, how can we keep these singers hydrated on their tours? Because dehydration is such a big issue. Dehydration causes vocal hoarseness, can cause nodules and problems, all kinds of things alone. And so what they discovered in the study was, when we put melon, we either ate melon or put melon chunks in water, the melon molecule is fatter. So it retains the moisture longer in the throat area. Now, this doesn't affect the larynx directly upon ingestion, because everything has to kind of circulate through, but it really soothes the throat and the muscles surrounding the instrument. And then the other thing they discovered was, when you drink water through a straw, that you stay hydrated longer. So versus just gulping water down and then it rushes out. So these were the 2 results of that study. I hope that helps you. Anybody else? Any questions? Sneeze. Okay. It's here. It's not here. I'm sneezing. Okay, it's gone. You're welcome. Any other questions about the voice while you have me? Pick my brain. Any questions about voice, range, timbre, tone, passaggio, anything. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram and hit the notification bell for when I go live every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And join our list at carriecole.com. You can go to our events page on our website and see more information about what programs are coming up. And we'll also be posting on IG stories to remind you. And go over to YouTube and watch the playlist there. And watch my most recent webinar on how to build a world-class voice. And that really walks you through also at the end, the Vocal Freedom Circle, if you want more information about that. We are in early bird right now, so you can come and learn the entire method and walk away in 8 weeks with a change in your voice and also over 70 exercises in the foundational piece of the method on audio and video. Good, some questions. Okay. Does jazz pop piano instructor with becoming better singer? I do not know what that means. Okay, can help with. Does jazz pop piano instructor help with becoming a better singer? Yes, that's more for the performance and ear training, if that makes sense. So that's not the technique of singing. They may throw some technique at you, but they're not really technique teachers, but it helps with the interpretation with your ear. And I studied jazz in singing in college, but that's not the technique piece that I'm talking about today. Clay, what's the best way to help release if you over squeeze? Chest up. So when you over squeeze, just notice when you sing, I bet you $1 million that your chin is forward, right? So hang on a second. My battery is on the phone. Yeah, it's posture to begin with, and we also need to put more pressure at the chest to engage the pectoral muscles. Beautiful. Anybody else? Any questions before I head out? Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I go live every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. The stream on YouTube is better visual. But I love all my Instagram people, so I always stream also on Instagram, and I'm also on Twitter, and I'm also on Facebook. So every Wednesday, I'm discussing the blog of the week. Join the list to get the blog of the week in your inbox, and come and join the Vocal Freedom Circle and get the full vocal method for the lowest price we've ever offered it. It's very affordable now, and it's a wonderful community of singers, and really get your voice strong and healthy and in incredible shape in just 8 weeks. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for joining me today.